Hey there, it's Michael Davis. I'm speaking CPR. Today's Friday, July 15th. I'm going to start a new weekly series. Who knows? I might do it twice a week. Depends on what my mood is. But wanted to give you some insights into storytelling. Clearly a popular topic today, but I find that there's still some missing pieces from a lot of the articles and the videos that I'm watching. So I just want to give you some different insights. I'm happy to keep doing these as long as they provide benefits. So give me some comments. If you're watching this as a recorded video, post some comments below the video. Let me know what's landing with you. If I'm not covering something, hey, even if you disagree, that's okay. It makes for spirited debate. But if there's some topic, some aspect of storytelling you'd like to hear, post it. I'll be happy to create a video for it. So today we're going to start with the question of why. Why do we tell stories? Now, I know there's a lot of information out there about the physiological reasons why, and we'll touch upon that briefly today. There are also social scientists have speculated that our ancestors told stories to pass on our history, morals, and ethics. We won't talk about that today. That's a topic for another presentation. But today I want to talk about a more specific modern reason why we tell stories, and that is the fact that at any point in the day, anywhere, now I'm in the United States, so anywhere in this country, just about, and in many places in the world, you can go to a computer, you can go to your laptop, you can go to your desktop, you can go to your TV, you can go to your mobile phone, and you can get information. We are inundated with information. Have you ever felt, when it comes to information overload, have you ever felt like this? It's too much. You got information coming at us from so many different directions. In fact, and I used to be in the financial business. I see it now as a communications expert in public speaking and storytelling, is that there are so many conflicting ideas out there. It often makes you feel like this screaming individual. If information alone solved all of our problems, all you and I would have to do is go to Google, YouTube, and within 5 to 10 minutes, we would have all of our problems solved, wouldn't we? Which begs the question, why isn't that enough? Well, it's because of what I said before. There's too much information. A lot of it's conflicting. But the problem is there's no personal aspect to all of this information. There is no insight. There's no overcoming of problems and what you learn from the challenges you've overcome, which is why information alone doesn't solve the problem. What does or can help you solve that problem and avoiding this issue of information overload is storytelling. See, when we tell emotional, sensory rich stories, the human brain is triggered. It's triggered by various neurochemicals like cortisol, oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins. And when that happens, there is a side benefit. And I'm not sharing this with you so that you can become a brain scientist. But if you're ever in a situation where you're giving a presentation, sales talk, a speech, maybe you've been asked to lead a group at work, and you find that your audience is drifting, they start dozing off, or they're checking out their phone, maybe surreptitiously under the desk, right? We've seen people do that. We've never done it ourselves, though, right? If you see people doing that, go into story mode. Just pull a story out. And I've got a tip for you on how to help you do that later. But just pull out a story. And what will happen is you'll get their attention. And ultimately, the benefit of that is you'll begin to earn people's trust faster. You'll be seen as more engaging. You will be able to persuade them more. And ultimately, this will make you a much more confident presenter. Now, you and I have at our disposal at any time in the day what I call a tool belt of communication tools. It can be stories, obviously, since that's my area of expertise. It can be our speeches, our sales talks, graphs, charts, PDFs, books. I mean, we've got this unbelievable access to all of this information. But here's the problem that we have with our tool belts, our communication tool belts. For example, if you're in sales, no matter how good your product is, you have competitors. And you cannot be the best in all aspects of your field. It's not possible. Somebody may possibly beat you on price. They may have a better delivery time on your product. They may have a better award-winning customer service follow-up. I don't know what it is in your case, but you can't be the best in every category. Same holds true if you're an employer. You want to bring new people on your team. You can't possibly have the best benefits and the best growth potential for career or the most flexible schedules to meet today's demands of today's modern employee who wants that flexibility. You can have all of these and do a good job in each, but you're not going to be the best in every category. And the same goes true if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for investors. You're not going to have the combination of the most unique business and the best business plan and the best percentage of the market out there. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because there is one asset that you have in your communication tool that no one else can duplicate. Your competitors cannot match you on this, and it is your stories, your origin story. Why do you do what you do? Your best, most successful customer stories, and the origin story of your company. If you work for another company, then that's the unique story of why that company was started. No one else can duplicate that. It's yours. Another idea to consider is as you're talking to people, if you're in sales and you've got prospective customers, if you've got employees who you're trying to hire, or you're trying to keep your team together or inspire them, if you're looking to talk to investors, there are 7 questions that are in people's minds. They may not even be consciously aware of some of these, and many times they don't verbalize them, but they're there. And there is one best way to answer these questions. The first question is, who are you? What are you about? What's your purpose? What's your driving force? Number 2, do you get me? Do you understand my problem, my specific problem? Number 3, are you an expert in your field? Number 4, can you solve my specific problem? Number 5, do you have a plan to solve that problem specifically for me? Number 6, can I trust you? And number 7, do I like you? Now, you and I have seen and encountered the sales professional, the speaker, the consultant who comes across like a used car salesman and says things like, "Oh, I've got the plan for you. You can trust me. I'm your guy. I'm the best there is." All right. You and I have encountered that person. Hopefully, we've never been that person. But you can avoid that. You can avoid coming across like that stereotypical used car salesman by telling an effective story, a story about why you do what you do, how you've overcome difficulties in your business, how you've helped clients or customers overcome difficulties in their business. Those 7 questions can be answered more quickly with an emotional, sensory-rich story that talks about trouble followed by success. Now, here's your tip. My suggestion to you is to start to create a storytelling file. I've got one right here on my phone. Now, by file, what I don't mean is start writing your story out for every idea you get. Just a quick run through on some of the titles I have. And I just put 2 or 3 words or a reference to an incident that's happened in my life, personally and professionally. You know your story so well. You don't need to write it all out. You just need a trigger to remind you of what it is. So, for example, had an incident in first grade where I was embarrassed on a desk by my teacher, and that impacted me seriously for many years. And it's ultimately the reason I do what I do today, because I understand the humiliation, the pain, the regret of not speaking well. But I didn't have to put all that in here. I just put desk in first grade. Oddfellows, that was the name of the group that sponsored my first baseball team I ever played on, which was a miserable failure of a team. 2 years later, I was on a team called Valley Motors, which was the most successful team in our region. Hundreds contest. I uh, took part in a hundreds contest in social studies in 8th grade. I don't need all that backstory. Just put that on there. But if you develop this habit, you will have a full complement of stories at your disposal. Now, what do you do with those? That'll be the subject of future videos. But for right now, just develop the habit. Set an alarm on your phone. At the end of the day, think about what happened to me today that was memorable. What lessons did I learn? What stories can I tie to those lessons? Or what lesson can I tie to the story? Either way, but just create that habit and you'll create this long bank, this huge file of stories that you can go to that will be appropriate when you're talking to customers, potential employees, investors, whatever your role is. Those stories will become very helpful. If you would like to take a deeper dive into this topic, I'd be more than happy to talk with you. I'm going to put a link in the chat box. You can use this QR code. It's just a 20-minute call. I'll be happy to talk with you about your stories, challenges you're having, ideas you've got. More than happy to talk with you. We'll just set up a 20-minute Zoom call. If you prefer to just talk on the phone, happy to do that. Hopefully this was a helpful insight to you today into why to do stories or why to share your stories. We'll do a deeper dive next week into some specifics on how to more effectively create your stories. Hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.